Hello and welcome to the very first weekly episode of All Things Premier League analysis and tips, coming to you live from the Stakehouse. I'm Conall McCabe. I'm joined by Lukas Dzinski. Lucas,
Everyone,
thank God no light bulbs are needed. It's earlier in the day today.
yeah, don't want a
Um,
repeat of that. I mean, the light's still on, but yeah, yeah,
okay, the good news is you can't really tell. So when the flickering inevitably happens in this one, hopefully it won't draw quite as much attention as it did in our intro video. If you haven't had a chance to check that out, it's definitely worth doing it. It's the timing is comedy gold. Oh my God. How's things otherwise, mate?
yeah. Everything's all right, mate. Looking forward to this week. To be honest, I've been a bit frustrated with the international break. It's just, I feel like this one's dragged on even longer. It just feels like it's been bloody ages. So, really buzzing for it. I even might watch some of the Championship game today. I think it's Leeds, Sheffield United.
Oh,
But
that's serious football withdrawals, that isn't it?
yeah, yeah. To be honest, yesterday I think it was Macclesfield Town versus Exeter. I was tempted to watch that, but
Draw a line there, did you?
yeah. Had better things to do.
Fair. All right. Well, look, let's get cracking. We've got 10 Premier League games to run through. I've got no fewer than six tips. Some of the pricing, some of the angles are really intriguing. So let's dive straight in. We're starting with Spurs versus West Ham. What have you got on this?
I haven't got anything in this to be honest, but West Ham have been shocking this season. I know you're a big fan of the manager coming in thinking he's going to change things around, but I haven't seen any of that to be honest. So Tottenham can be wobbly, and it's technically it's a big rivalry between the two, but I think the market's got about right. I got them priced as Tottenham being one goal better
Okay.
than West Ham. So I'm expecting quite like a routine win by Tottenham, to be honest.
I mean, what you just said about Lopetegui is kind of right. I am a fan, or I have been a fan, but I've been less than impressed in terms of what I've seen so far. But let me
Mm.
ask you this. If you're on the West Ham board right now,
Yeah.
would you be looking to bring David Moyes back in?
No, I mean, again, like you got to give the manager some time, right? Like West Ham last season, like their results were much better than the actual performances. They should have been way lower down the table.
Yeah.
Think now it's that just shows that the way they're playing probably
Is
hasn't
there
changed
data to you
much.
suggesting that it's going to turn around?
No, not anytime soon, to be honest. I have them rated as the 15th best team in the league. So, at the moment, but yeah, I mean, it's a big job, right? Just like the United job is a big job. It's going to take a lot of time to rebuild. I feel like they have to give him till like the whole season, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot. Need to kind of rebuild the whole squad. Like still got people like Kufal playing wing back, right? Like
Yeah.
Antonio's playing up top because their signing was injured, but I think he might be back now. So yeah, we'll see.
It's
But yeah,
hard to
I'm
get.
not. I won't be backing him.
It's not one that I'm going to touch either way. I mean, I think everything you've said about West Ham there is very valid. I think as Lopetegui finds his feet, as the new look team finds its feet, it's hard to know what sort of team they're going to come out, what sort of way they're going to play, or
Yeah.
what sort of day they're going to have, in other words. Having said all of that, I really can't trust Spurs at 2 to 5 either. So from a betting angle, I definitely don't think that it's one to touch there, particularly with it being a London derby and all of these other things coming into
Yeah.
effect. If I was forced to take a punt, I might say Spurs very narrowly, but from a betting angle, it's definitely not one that I would be touching either.
Narrowly, I think Tottenham will smash them. To be honest, but
Okay, let's see.
we'll see.
Luckily, that one's not too competitive. Should have mentioned at the top of the pod that we will be obviously having a competition week by week to see who does better
Easy.
with our separate tips. Because as you're about to find out, we will be going head to head on quite a few of the different games. So let's move on. Southampton Leicester. Um,
Ah.
what's your thoughts on this one?
I I've been toying with Southampton minus a quarter. I'm still not decided about it. This is like a relegation 6 pointer already.
What do you mean you haven't decided? You're literally on your own official podcast. You have
I've been
listeners.
toying.
Listeners are hanging on the edge of their
Yeah.
ears, listening to hear what to bet on. Are they betting on Saints minus a quarter, or are they not?
Well, I was just getting into that, right? I was toying with it, but then I've been thinking about it a lot, and I think it's just, I think it's one of those games where I think it's going to be some kind of weird draw, like 1-1, 2-2. Like, I don't think Southampton. I've got Southampton as projected as better than Leicester, but both teams, if you look at them this season, in terms of like how they should perform, they're like the ratings. Both of them have been going down, right? It's not like one's been doing better than the other. Both teams have been getting smashed. I know Leicester won. Well, Leicester won against Bournemouth, but the XG was actually 0.79 to 2.11. So they were really lucky to win that game. So yeah, I probably would want a bit more time to decide if I want to be back in Saints or Leicester. But if you're going to put a gun to my head, you had to say you wanted to back someone, it'll be Saints minus a quarter. So basically, what that means is if it's a draw, you get half your money back, and if Southampton win, you win.
Yeah, absolutely. You can find those Asian handicap markets on the game. We will be doing some evergreen content, as mentioned in our introductory piece, which will go into a little bit more detail on things like Asian handicaps, expected goals, other betting terminology, just to help those people along that need it. I will not disappoint you all in the same way and sit on the fence in the way that Lucas has. I've got a very clear angle here. There's just no way I can get behind Southampton at nearly odds on. No way. Looking at that Southampton team, Russell Martin's teams like to keep possession. They spread the ball, but I just don't see where the goals are going to come from. You know, you've got Alan Armstrong and you've got Cameron Archer. They're both good championship strikers. Neither will hit a barn door in the Premier League this season. Other than Adam Lallana, I don't see it. And the new lad, is it Billing that's come through on the flank? I just don't see anything in that Southampton team. I don't see an awful lot in Leicester either, but they did cause problems at the Emirates. I went to watch them play Arsenal a few weeks ago. They looked okay on the break. I would have this closer to a 50-50 matchup, and therefore looking at Leicester at 3.15 on the exchange, I think that's probably worth a punt, and that will be an official tip for me, because I just can't have Southampton at nearly evens here. I think that they really are going to be short of goals this season. So that's my tip on that one. That's an official tip.
I want to have a think about it, but I might back Southampton based on you back in Leicester. Just
For a bit of aggro. I love it.
Yeah. Just a bit of bad.
All right, Newcastle Brighton.
Newcastle Brighton. Got nothing in that, to be honest. Don't really have much of an opinion, to be honest. I mean, both teams. I mean, Newcastle. Everyone was saying they're going to be top 4 start of the season, but are they playing that well? I don't know. Brighton as well. I think Brighton have been good, but not sure. I'll let you start this one.
In terms of calling it, I've got no angle whatsoever on this one. I won't be touching it. The only thing I'd say on Newcastle is I've been really disappointed by them.
Yeah.
When Ho came in, his first season to make Champions League, he obviously over-exceeded there. Although the competition, if you look at the Champions League places, actually wasn't that strong this season.
Yeah.
Last year, I know they had a ton of injuries, fine, but their finishing position was just nowhere near good enough. And if you look at comparison to the stick that someone like Ten Hag got at United for his position last year, fine, United are a bigger club than Newcastle, I get it.
Yeah.
But still, I think Ho got a pretty easy ride, all things considered. They've looked pretty uninspiring for me, just saying, rightfully or wrongly, at the start of this season. I think Ho needs to be careful. I couldn't believe people were touting him against Tuchel for the England job. I just think they're a class apart. And it's a big call, and I hope I'm wrong, but I wouldn't be shocked to see Eddie Howe out of a job before the end of the season. If things aren't going well, aren't going to plan, let's supposing at the turn of the year they're around that mid-table mark, that's not enough for the owners. And I think he needs to, there's already internal friction, and I think he needs to watch his back. So that's the only thing I'd say here. This is probably goals. If you push me, I wouldn't be shocked to see something like a 2-1 Brighton here.
Really, I have. Funny you say that. I got Newcastle projected to be 0.58 goals better than Brighton.
Okay.
But we'll see. I'm not.
It's not an official. It's not an official tip for you either, though, right?
No. I'm not.
Yeah.
Not
Okay.
touching it.
So move on. Here we go. United Brentford. Clash of the
Hold
Titans.
on. Let me change. Let me go change my top quickly.
For everybody watching, Lucas is currently in a Poland top, different from the usual Brentford top that he wears pretty much on every other podcast. He doesn't wash it either, so it's another point on that. What have you got for this one?
Quite an easy one, to be honest. One I got real high confidence in. Not because I'm a delusional Brentford fan, but it's going to be Brentford +1. I managed to get round, I think it was 1.8, something like that. It's come in a little bit, but yeah, I feel like Brentford, things are looking up a bit. We had a good start, then had some injuries, etc. But we're playing some good football. I think the midfield's been really good. Like Damsgaard has looked incredible. I just think the market keeps undervaluing Brentford, and like United is just way overvalued, especially with all the injuries. Like I think Mainu's going to be out. You got massive problems at the back. I feel like every single time we've played United, we've done really well. Was it last season we were 1-0 up and then lost 2-1, but it was like 2 goals in like 3 minutes. So I feel like we should get at least a draw. So basically, what Brentford +1 and Asian handicap, what all that mean is basically it's a draw. You win your bet. If Brentford lose by 1, you get your money back. So it's a nice bit of insurance. So basically, all we need is Brentford not to lose by more than 1 to kind of have some kind of return. So I'm pretty confident in that, and that's probably one of my top tips of the weekend, I'd say.
Cool. So that's an official tip for you, and you're
Yeah.
probably not. You probably wouldn't put people off backing Brentford outright here at an even bigger price, right? If they're looking to
Yeah, I mean,
maximize profit. I mean, ultimately, it's obviously the Asian handicap allows us to play a little bit safer. But
yeah,
when Lucas is giving his tips, I think it's important to note for those people who are looking for a little bit more of an even money-esque shot to look at tweaking slightly to see where more profit can be made. Because if
yeah. I
Brentford are
mean,
value on the Asian, they're value in the win market, right? So
yeah. I mean, if you want a slightly bigger price, I'd say go Brentford +0.5. So that basically means if it's a draw, Brentford win, and that's currently 2.35 on Betfair Exchange. So, but if you do want to, yeah, go Brentford on a win. But yeah, I feel like we will play good, but it could always end up being a draw. So I'd rather have the insurance. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
yep, no, I like that. And I'm not going to take you on in this one. I think there's definitely easier battles to choose against you.
Oh,
So
really? Okay, interesting.
I
Yeah,
haven't got a tip for this one. I just want to talk quickly about the United situation with Ten Hag because people are really back and forth in terms of should he stay, should he go, should the board get rid of him, and all of these kind of questions. And I think the one thing that I don't like that Ineos have done since they've come in is when you look at the recruitment this summer, it's still Ten Hag's recruitment. That's a big problem. I'm not saying some of it hasn't been good. I like some of the signings. I like the signing of Yoro coming in and a few others. But the problem is Ten Hag clearly is still having a big impact and influence on the recruitment. And if you're going to back him specifically in this way in the transfer market, to get rid of him now at this stage of the season makes no sense. It's a square pegs and round holes job because then you've got another manager coming in effectively trying to pick up Ten Hag's squad and work with it. So it's not because he's any good, but for that reason, I think he has to get the season. And, when you're looking at all clubs, I think that the involvement of managers in transfers is really interesting. You look at Arteta at Arsenal, he's just signed a long-term contract. He's got great working relationships with the likes of Edu and other people there. It makes complete sense that Mikel Arteta is heavily involved in their transfer decisions. But for other clubs, when they've just brought a manager in or they're unsure on that manager, I think they have to recruit for the club rather than
Oh
for the
yeah,
manager.
of
And the
course.
manager has to almost graduate now from starting as a coach to becoming a manager when they can have more of a say on transfers and so on and so forth when there's more stability around their position. Just the point I wanted to make there. But let's move on. Ipswich.
Just
Sorry,
just to
what?
add to that,
Yeah,
I got United rated as the 13th best team, so there is some improvement from last season because they were further down, but they're still, nowhere near, the level quality they ought to be, right? So yeah,
completely, massively underperforming, and that argument isn't stipulated on my faith in Ten Hag. It's stipulated on what actually makes sense
yeah, yeah, yeah,
from a
yeah.
business perspective. My main problem with Ten Hag is I still can't see what he's trying to do. When United go on the pitch, I can't see what sort of style he's trying to implement. The most disappointing thing about the Spurs game was not the Bruno Fernandes red card. It wasn't getting beat 3-0. It was the first 6 minutes of the game. When Tottenham were right at it, you could see exactly what they were
Yeah.
trying to do. And United, you just didn't have a clue. It made for really uncomfortable watching. Anyway, we've got to move on time-wise. Ipswich, Everton. What you got?
Nothing, mate. No, no. I'll let you lead with that one.
Cool. It's an official tip for me. Ipswich are a breath of fresh air. A really exciting club to watch. And in Liam Delap up front, I think they've got a player. My problem is, if you look around the Ipswich side, there's still nowhere near enough Premier League quality in it. To keep them up, I think Delap needs to score about 20 goals this season. And I think he'll, as good as he is, I don't think he'll get the service and the opportunities to hit that number. And I think Ipswich will make more of a fight of it than Southampton and Leicester. I think all three that came up will go down, by the way. But I still think Ipswich will go down. And to have Ipswich again, I think it's 6-5 in the market here, at home to an Everton side that know their way around the lower teams. I still think Everton are a bit undervalued. Yes, they chucked it away ridiculously against Bournemouth, but the Villa game I thought they were actually a little bit unlucky in, and to only lose 3-2 to a fantastic Villa side there was actually not a bad showing. And if Calvert-Lewin doesn't hit the bar twice, then they probably win. To have Everton here on the exchanges at over threes, you can get 3.05 on an Everton win here. I think that's a fair punt, and that is an official tip for me. I can't have Ipswich at nearly odds on again. It doesn't make sense to me. I think that there's more quality in that Everton squad overall. Dwight McNeil's coming into form. I expect Calvert-Lewin to be amongst the goals here. I think Everton can go there and win.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Everton haven't had a great start, but I feel like it's only a matter of time till they get back to where they should be, as they were at the end of last season when they were playing some good football.
Cool, okay. I'll let you lead off then with the next one, which is also an official tip for me, by the way. I've got Fulham Villa.
Right, I didn't watch the City Fulham game live, but I did watch the extended highlights. And bloody hell, City got away with that massively. Like, Fulham should have won that game. Traore had three really good chances. I think I read somewhere his combined XG was over 1. The game finished 3-2 to City, but on expected goals, City only created 1.46, so basically overachieved their goals by double. While Fulham had 2 goals and the XG was 2.57, so a difference of 1. So as much as I hate to say it, Fulham been doing well this season. I haven't got an official bet on this, but I could easily be backing Fulham in some way. Maybe minus a quarter or something like that, because Villa haven't been looking that great, I don't think, this season, as well as they were last season. I think this is going to be actually a really good game. Is it on TV or not? Probably not, right?
No idea. But you're edging towards Fulham.
3 o'clock, yeah, it won't be on TV. But yeah, I am edging towards Fulham, but I'm not putting an official bet on this one.
Okay, so my official tip is to go the complete opposite way to that.
Okay, all right.
Once again, I'm kind of allowing myself to be led on price here. I've been, as with my first 2 tips, and again, Fulham are nearly odds on, and I just can't understand, or how that can be the case. Fulham have started the season great. Smith Rowe looks like he has a new lease of life.
Yeah.
Raul Jimenez looks like he might be getting back to form. Alex
Yeah.
Iwobi is absolutely crucial to their makeup. There's lots of great things happening at Fulham, and I think they can have a good season. Top half, I'm not sure they can progress much further than that. With Villa, again, to have Fulham at odds on here, the only thing I can think of is that the bookies are trying to take the Champions League distraction into account already, and I just think
No, maybe.
it's just too early though. You know, maybe when we're 5, 6 games into the Champions League, it might start to have that impact, but I don't think that it will just yet. And again,
Also Villa playing at home on Tuesday, so it's not like they have to travel or anything like that.
yeah, and Villa are 3.0 to win this game on the exchange. I just think the price is too nice. If you stack these teams up against each other, Morgan Rogers just looks absolute fire. I know you're loving him in your fantasy team. And just as a team, Villa and what Emery's building there, and Villa have strength and depth, by the way. It's not just like, there's a massive gulf between their first 11 and their second string. There's actually not. They have a really well-balanced, well-rounded squad. And I think that... Do I think Villa will definitely win this game? No. But do I think Villa at 3.0 are worth a punt? Yes, I do. So if you look at that, that's my third bet. I'm backing 3 sides. I'm backing Villa, Everton and Leicester. One of them comes in for me to break even there. Any more than that,
Yeah.
I'm in very, very nice profit. So I really like those first 3 bets in terms of what I've done.
The only thing I'd say is, injuries wise, Villa, I think Onana's a bit of a doubt. I think he's been actually really good this season and is slowly becoming a key player. So it's something to be aware of. McGinn's been out last 2 games, but yeah, it might be missed a bit. But I think the fact Onana's missing could be a bit of a blow. But I reckon this is going to be like a good game to watch. It's a shame it's not on TV.
Agree. And agree on Onana as well. That is a concern. It doesn't deflect me enough from the price and offer them. Bournemouth, Arsenal.
Oh, okay. You want me to go first?
You can do.
Well, I've gone Bournemouth +1. I feel like they've been playing really nice football. Results not necessarily been going their way, but in terms of like their XG, they've actually been doing well. Again, I mentioned the last game, Leicester. They smashed them on XG. Southampton, I mean, that was kind of routine win, etc. But yeah, I think Bournemouth +1. I think it's a decent bet. I backed them early in the week at 1.88. They've come in a little bit now. What is it? 1.79 on the exchange. But I guess some of that will be like back in news breaking and stuff like that. But what I'd say is Arteta chats a lot of breeze, basically. He said it in the past where like, oh, Saka's injured, he can't go, international break, and he's played the following game, fine, right? So just be aware about some mind games and some trickery that some managers might play. But yeah, Bournemouth +1. I think that's a good bet. On TV at 5:30 as well. I'll be in the boozer watching that, buzzing.
I'm scared. I'm scared of Arsenal. Really scared. When I was growing up and really caught the football bug, late 90s, early thousands, our battles with Arsenal as a United fan were legendary. I've not seen anything like it in the Premier League ever since. So even though I'm supposed to hate Liverpool and City more than anybody, the football fan in me hates Arsenal at least on the same level as those two.
Yeah.
And the shape they're in, what they're building there. You look at City, you've got Pep who's coming to the end. You look at Liverpool, Arne Slot started well, but there's an awfully long way to go there. There's nobody else that close to bridging the gap. I'm scared because I feel like this Arsenal team won't just win the league this year, but could go on to dominate for a few years to come yet. So I think they're in an unbelievable place. This is another official tip for me. I get that they may or may not have injuries. As you say, Arteta likes to keep things, keep everybody guessing. But they just have a way of getting things done. If Arsenal do get it done, I think it'll be narrow. I think it'll be low scoring. and I think Arsenal to win to 0, which is a bet that would have copped at least 2 or 3 times already this season, is a player again at 3.0. Something like 0-1, if you were asking me for an exact scoreline, wouldn't surprise me. So here you go. This is one that we're officially going head to head on. So
Easy win for me.
My tip is Arsenal to 0. So look forward to wiping the floor with you with that one.
The bottle is beginning.
Well, Wolves Man City. Basically, on City, I'll go first in this one, right? On City, Rodri is such a massive loss, and people aren't talking about it enough. Rodri is the best player in the world, bar none, right? Name me a better player.
I don't know. I think Mbuemo's probably up there as well.
All right, 1 and 2 either way, right? But because I'm never going to win that argument against you. Either way, Rodri's bang up there, and he's been such a colossus at the base of City's midfield, keeping things tight. Kovacic and Rico Lewis are both very strong players. They're not Rodri. They're not even close. City are going to leak goals. They've already. I mean, Newcastle created a host against them a couple of games ago. I think City are going to have to find different ways to win Premier League games this season. And I think it's going to have to be more of we're going to score more of a new approach. I think if you back City to win and both teams to score, as a single bet for every single City game for the rest of the season, you'd make money. Ipswich scored against them.
Go on then.
Brentford could have scored 3 or 4 against them in the first 10 minutes of that game, right? Like, City will leak chances. And I'm starting with it this game. City to win, both teams to score. 2.5, I think it's a very fair price.
Are you going to back that every week now then?
Official tip, yeah.
So every week you're going to do the same thing? You said, you can't track back now.
Let's see how the first one goes. But I see myself backing it an awful lot of weeks, put it that way.
Well, who have they got next week? They've got Southampton at home. You're going to back it for that as well?
Maybe not. Southampton are dirt going forward.
You got to back yourself.
Sorry, Southampton fans. I need to know the other team are capable of causing them problems. That's the caveat there, right? Southampton is not the best team.
And what, you reckon Wolves? You reckon Wolves can cause problems?
Yep. Hands down, Wolves will score against City.
Wolves have been rubbish this season.
They have, but they can cause more problems than Southampton. They've got more about them going forward, and Wolves will score against Man City.
Yeah, but that's not hard, is it? It's just comparing two bad teams. But anyway.
What have you got for this one?
Nothing.
Okay.
Not touching it.
Quick score.
It's going to be pretty routine. City win. I don't think there's any value in it.
Okay. Liverpool versus Chelsea.
I'll let you lead that one.
Okay. I trust Chelsea going forward. I think that Maresca has quietly got them purring. You've got Cole Palmer, who is an unbelievable talent. Maybe on current form, the very best available player in the Premier League right now. Last year, it felt like he was a one-man band, right? Where he was kind of doing these incredible things, and he just didn't have any backup. Suddenly, there's a team around him. Madueke started well, Nkunku's fit. Nicholas Jackson looks already better for his second season. Jadon Sancho looks like he has a new lease of life. There's other players, I know you don't rate Joao Felix, but there's other players that can come off the bench as well. I think that Chelsea attacking unit is a force. However, Liverpool I don't think will fold. I think this is an absolutely cracking game of football. I cannot wait for this. And I think it's a goal feast. So I've got another official tip for this one. It's a bit maverick. But I've actually got quite a lot of confidence behind it. And it's both teams to score 2 or more goals. You can get that priced at 3.6 on the exchange. I think it's a very, very fair price. I think Chelsea will go there and cause huge problems. And I actually think it's got 2-2 written all over it this game. But that's my official tip.
I can't see there being that many goals. Then again, I don't really have anything on it, but what I'll say is been really impressed with Liverpool. Hasn't really been much of a transition. They've hit the ground running. Chelsea have been looking better by every week. Mm-hmm. But on paper, I still think Liverpool is the better team. I have them rated as 0.66 goals better than Chelsea. And I expect them to edge this game. Probably, I don't know, probably like a routine 2-1 win, but it'll be a good game to watch. And I'm looking forward to it, but I'm not touching it.
I don't think routine is the right word.
Not routine, not routine. Yeah, that's probably not the right word. Routine's probably Brentford versus United. That would be a routine win.
That's more routine, yeah.
It's going to be, I think Liverpool will have the better chances, but it'll be a close game. But I think they'll come out on top.
Cool. All right. Last game is Forest v Palace. Anything?
Yeah, I have Forest minus a quarter. I think the price I got was, let me double check, it was 2.03. I think they're around that same price. They've actually drifted a little bit to 2.06 on Bet365. But yeah, I feel like Forest have been playing well this season, I think. Some of the results haven't been going that way, but in terms of like the XG they created, the XG they conceded has been quite good. Palace, on the other hand, after the end of last season, everyone was like expecting them to hit the ground running, but they've been a bit slow out the gate. I feel like this being at home, Forest. I know there's some potential issues with GW8 not being fit, but hopefully he will be fit. But yeah, I have Forest as minus a quarter. So basically, if there's a draw, you get half your money back. If Forest win, you win. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that.
Cool.
What are you going to say, Palace?
No, I'm not. It's not an official tip for me, but I agree with your analysis. I think that
Okay.
Forest will win this game.
That makes a change.
I know, right? What's wrong with this? But I think that I was about to tell you you need to take up another hobby based on some of these tips, but you've salvaged it at the end. I think that Forest will win comfortably. I think
Oh,
Palace.
comfortably. Okay. I think it's still
Yeah,
going to be quite a close game, but I still think that they'll
no,
come
I
out on
think it'll
top.
be 2-0 Forest. I think they'll win.
Really? Okay. Well, that'll
I
be
just
good.
think Palace is, it's a bit of an odd summer. They did well to hang on to a lot of that squad, but losing Elise, just such a blow. Like especially when you look at what he's doing at Bayern right now.
Yeah.
And I think to replace him with Eddie and Nketiah makes no sense to me. First of
Well,
all,
it's a different player, right?
exactly. Nketiah is a number 9, but he's being asked to play in behind Jean-Philippe Mateta, who is a better number 9 than Nketiah. You needed more of an approach player in there. And Nketiah, for his career, he'd have been perfect at someone like Southampton, who are crying out for a number 9. He's gone to Palace. He's now having to fit in around Mateta. It doesn't look like it's going to work to me. I also think Nketiah is God knows how many notches below somebody of the class of Michael Elise. So I think it's going to be a long season for Palace. I think they're obviously going to stay up, but not do very much more than that. Nuno is his defensive record at Wolves is phenomenal, right? And I think Forest will cause problems going forward. So I like your tip.
I actually have Forest rated as the 8th best team, so
There you go. It adds
yeah.
up.
Cool.
Just
All right, so
quick,
recap.
yeah, quick summary for me. So you've got my 6 official tips in there. What I've also done is I've put them in an ACCA in terms of playing a little bit safer with every selection. So for the 3 teams to win, Everton, Villa, and Leicester, I've done them all as double chance opportunities in the ACCA, aka they only have to win or draw to keep the ACCA alive. I've done Arsenal just to win in the ACCA as opposed to win to nil. I have done Liverpool, Chelsea both to score in the ACCA instead of both to score at least 2. And I have done City to win and both to score in the ACCA. So effectively playing a little bit safer on almost all of my selections in the ACCA. That can bring you something very close to 13 to 1.
All
If you
right.
want to play a little bit safer, you could also do that as 5 folds, which means that if one team lost, you can still make a very nice profit.
Not bad. So yeah, I've gone obviously Mighty Bees +1, Brentford versus United. I've got Bournemouth +1 against Arsenal, and then Forest minus a quarter. So pretty confident in those. I reckon it'll be a 3 wins out of 3 for me, and probably 0 out of 6 for you. Well, 7 if you include the Aka.
Let's see. For those of you that like Lucas's tips but want to get on them in a bigger way, you could combine the 3 selections in an ACCA, which is possible through a sportsbook. You're probably looking somewhere in the region of 6-7 to 1. I imagine if you combine the 3 of them. So that's another way to play it. But yeah, let's see who comes out on top for this week. It's been good chatting through the tips, mate. Have a good week. Maybe try and get the light bulb changed. And see you next time.
Cheers, guys. Good weekend.